Please join me in our community response, printed in your order of service and on the screens. We are grateful for the opportunity to give and serve, and grateful for the gifts we have received. May this affirm the ministries of our church community, both within and beyond these walls. On most weeks, we have a tradition of connecting in community by lifting up our joys or concerns and sharing in our celebrations and lighting candles. As you share with us, Martha will light a candle for you. This morning, I'd like to begin with our virtual attendees and ask them to raise their virtual hands if they have a candle they'd like lit. For those of you in the sanctuary with a joy or concern, please come forward and form a line on this side, and you can speak from this pulpit. Jack, do we have any candles of caring from our Zoomers this morning? No. Okie dokie. If it happens, please just flag me. Do we have any joys or concerns this morning?
Hi, Anna Fadden. I have a candle of concern and love and light for my daughter, Kelly. She's had a rough 9 days. She broke some pottery and got on the side of her wrist, she got some ceramic in there, and then ended up with 3 stitches and a tetanus shot. Her car broke down just before Christmas and had to be towed in the 22-degree weather, and then they just diagnosed it and said that some of the cylinders are not holding compression, so she needs a new engine. So it's been, and she's sick. so it's just, it's been a rough 9 days for her, so I'm sending her love and light.
My name is Nancy Bruns, and I left the church against my will 5 years ago, but I have just wanting to say it has been the best of times and it has been the worst of times, but the best is yet to come.
Good morning, 2 candles of joy. I don't know if we announced this or not, but we are new grandparents. Marlo Rosalind Ford, 6.5 pounds, was born on November 27th. She's cute as a button and all good. And also, to add to the fun and excitement for Delaney and her husband Kevin, they recently closed on a new house for them. So they're moving on the 11th and having a wonderful time of it all. We're doing what we can to help. Thanks.
Would anyone like a microphone brought to them? Okay. Martha, could you please light one last candle for all those joys and sorrows which went unspoken? Thank you. Please join with me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Spirit of life, which flows through all things and binds us together in this community built on love and trust, may we always gently hold the pain of those who are suffering in hope that their pain will lessen and ease. May we always lift up the joy of those in celebration in hope that their joy will grow and spread. And as we wait at the cusp of a new year, we ask this. May we find warmth when we are cold. May we find light in our shadows. May we find peace amidst our chaos. And may we recognize love when it appears before us. May this be so. Please join me in a time of sacred silence. Blessed be and amen. Please join with me in singing number 402, From You I Receive, which should appear on our screens.
And now is the time for our first community sharing. I'd like to begin with our virtual attendees over Zoom. If you have a brief reading or poem you'd like to share, please raise your virtual hand and Jack will call on you when he's ready. When you speak, you should be broadcast onto the sanctuary screens.
Neela, you can unmute.
I'm having trouble hearing the people speaking through the microphone in the church. Is there any way to raise the volume? And do you hear me clearly?
Yes. We'll try to
Okay.
raise it.
Is there a way to increase the speaker volume?
I will see what I can do.
Thank you. This is a poem by Billy Collins, the one I really like. I actually had two. I had a hard time deciding, but anyway. The genius is standing at a stove in a bathrobe, stirring a pot of soup with a long wooden spoon. Earlier this afternoon, he was busy in the margins of a heavy book, and tonight he will take a walk in the garden of calculus. But now, there is only the vegetable soup, the circling of the spoon, the easy rotation of the wrist, and the aroma of onion and rosemary. The kind of moment when a brainstorm is very likely to roll in. Not when you are concentrating under a lamp in your study, but when you are up in the woods lifting a stone onto a wall or washing a glass in the sink. You look up and see a cloud in the window, and then there is only you, the wet glass, and that cloud, which is slowly taking the shape of an astonishing idea.
Are there more virtual candles, Jack?
I don't see any. No.
Okay.
If there's time later, I'd like to read another one of his, but there are a lot of people, but I don't know who's going to read. Okay, I'm muting.
And I'm going to share a short reading. This is called Accepting Grace from the meditation book I have here. There is sometimes a reluctance to receive because deep down we believe ourselves unworthy. Yet we are all entitled to receive grace, special gifts that we feel we have done nothing to deserve, simply by virtue of who or what we are, spiritual beings in human form. Trust in the abundance of the world around you and know your true worthiness. Receive all gifts with joy and gratitude. In doing so, you allow the flow of grace to continue as you give back to others the joy that you have received. And now I'd like to invite Christine to come forward and bless us with a musical interlude, and that will be followed by another time of sharing. Thank you, Christine. Now is the second time of community sharing. I'd like to ask you to come forward one at a time, and you can come up this way to share with us. And at the end, I will offer to bring you the microphone if you'd like me to. So please come forward to share any readings.
When you share, I'm going to ask that you speak really close to the microphone because that's the only way to solve or help with the issue. Thank you.
Hi, Liz Cooper here. Hope you can hear me. Every New Year's Eve, if I'm awake at midnight, and that isn't always true, I tend to crack open a book of poetry and read from Tennyson, his poem In Memoriam. I'm going to shorten it a bit, and I apologize in advance. He uses gendered language, which I might not choose to use. But there are so many good sentiments in this poem, I really wanted to share it today. Ring out, wild bells, to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out, wild bells, and let him die. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring, happy bells, across the snow. The year is going, let him go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind for those that here we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in redress to all mankind. Ring out a slowly dying cause and ancient forms of party strife. Ring in the nobler modes of life with sweeter manners, purer laws. Ring out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common love of good. Ring out old shapes of foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in the 1,000 years of peace.
Good morning. I'm Lori Locascio, and I have a reading, a passage from a wonderful book that was recommended in one of the Soul Matters packets. It's by John O'Donohue, and it's called Beauty, the Invisible Embrace. There's so many good things in this book. We have often heard that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is usually taken to mean that the sense of beauty is utterly subjective, that there is no accounting for taste because each person's taste is different. But this statement has another more subtle meaning. If our style of looking becomes beautiful, then beauty will become visible and shine forth for us. We will be surprised to discover beauty in unexpected places where the ungraceful eye would never linger. The graced eye can glimpse beauty anywhere, for beauty does not reserve itself for special elite moments or instances. It does not wait for perfection, but is present already, secretly, in everything. When we beautify our gaze, the grace of hidden beauty becomes our joy and our sanctuary.
A few years ago, I started reading Rumi. I don't know how familiar you are with Rumi, but one of the things that, I mean, he's profound. And a lot of the stuff I am only just beginning to understand. But the one thing that that I recently read is yesterday I thought I was smart. I wanted to change the world. Today I want to change myself. And then this next thing is from a quote of the Blessed Teresa of Calcutta. And she says, "Do your best, and it will never be enough. Do your best anyway."
Would anyone like the microphone brought to them?
I really can walk, but it's easier doing it this way so I don't stumble. My name is Lorinda Morimoto. My pronouns are she and her. This is a shortish haiku. Perhaps when I stop distracting myself, I will discover myself.
This is one of my favorite quotes by philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti. He once said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society."
Anyone else? Yeah.
There's one more on Zoom. Neela wanted to read one more.
Great. You can have Neela go next. Thank you.
This is called Shoveling Snow with Buddha. In the usual iconography of the temple or the local wok, you would never see him doing such a thing, tossing the dry snow over a mountain of his bare, round shoulder, his hair tied in a knot, a model of concentration. Sitting is more his speed, if that is the word for what he does or does not do. Even the season is wrong for him in all his manifestations. Is it not warm or slightly humid? Is this not implied by his serene expression, that smile so wide it wraps itself around the waist of the universe? But here we are, working our way down the driveway, one shovelful at a time. We toss the light powder into the clear air. We feel the cold mist on our faces, and with every heave, we disappear and become lost to each other in these sudden clouds of our own making, these fountain bursts of snow. This is so much better than a sermon in church, I say out loud. But Buddha keeps on shoveling. This is the true religion, the religion of snow and sunlight and winter geese barking in the sky, I say. But he is too busy to hear me. He has thrown himself into shoveling snow as if it were the purpose of existence, as if the sign of a perfect life were a clear driveway. You could back the car down easily and drive off into the vanities of the world with a broken heater fan and a song on the radio. All morning long, we work side by side, me with my commentary, and he inside his generous pocket of silence, until the hour is nearly noon and the snow is piled high all around us. Then I hear him speak. After this, he asks, "Can we go inside and play cards?" Certainly, I reply, and I will heat some milk and bring cups of hot chocolate to the table while you shuffle the deck, and our boots stand dripping by the door. Ah, says the Buddha, lifting his eyes and leaning for a moment on his shovel before he drives the thin blade again deep into the glittering white snow.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing.
I also want to thank Jack for helping make this happen. There are a lot of moving parts in today's service, and I really appreciate you. Now, as part of this last day before we begin a new year, we are going to take a moment and offer each other our blessings. We, Unitarian Universalists, do not believe that any one person holds the ear of God. No one is closer to that spirit of life than any other person. And no one, absolutely no one, is further away from it. We are all holy. We are all sacred, and we are capable of sharing that sacredness with each other. So let me introduce you to this ritual. It's going to be slightly different for those of you online. I'm going to ask you if it's possible and you're comfortable to let people see your faces. I'm going to ask you within the Zoom room to bless each other. When I have finished explaining the process to the in-person congregants, I will ask each of you online to please hold one hand towards your screen and another on your heart. Then you are going to unmute yourselves and offer each other blessings for the new year. You should be able to hear each other, but not be broadcast into the sanctuary. So please speak to each other as you are comfortable when I finish explaining this to the congregation in person. For those of you in the sanctuary, I have brought a wooden chalice filled with stones. I'm going to invite you to please come forward and select whichever one speaks to you. The stone you choose is your stone. Then, I'm going to ask you to be brave and bring your stone to someone. You're going to exchange the stones. You're going to let them hold the stone, let them feel the surface, let them warm it with their hands, and while you stand face to face, share a blessing for the new year. Anna and I are going to demonstrate it for you. We're going to do it from the microphone so you can hear us. Let's exchange. I have Anna's stone, she has mine. Anna, I really appreciate you, and I wish for you a year full of abundance.
Cindy, I really appreciate you, and I wish for you a year of health and happiness.
You don't have to hug. You can, if everyone's comfortable and there's a consent thing, it's okay. Once you've shared your blessings, return your stones to yourself and move on, finding another congregant with whom to share. Please move about the sanctuary. Please reach out to people whom you might not normally speak. Look into each other's eyes, smile, connect, feel, and trust. If you would like a stone brought to you, please raise your hand and I would be happy to bring you one. And if you'd like to not participate and simply watch, that is okay. We respect your choices. For those online, please begin sharing your blessings. And for those of us in the sanctuary, I invite you to please come forward and select a stone and then find someone that you'd like to bless.
For those on Zoom, I'm going to mute the sanctuary so you don't have to speak over us.
Ooh, sun's getting really bright.
Well, are we intending to pick a particular person at a time? Or can I just send in general?
You know, Joel, I was thinking exactly the same thing, that I just like to send blessings to everyone at once.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I
Seems
wish
like a plan.
I wish the same for everyone, which is good health and contentment and some surprises that enrich your life and the adventure of being adventurous, creative, and joy being with your family members and your friends and good food.
I'm just thinking how much less my life would be without each of you in it. Blessings.
Blessings to my whole church family, those that were in the sanctuary, those who are here right now, and those that we haven't seen, or those who are in different states right now. You are my chosen family, and you are so much part of my heart. I hope for all of you a wonderful 2024, one with many blessings, adventure, good health, and much love coming your way.
I'm wishing, far and near, I'm wishing we could all be one as one soul with everyone on the earth, and that we need and that we can be good stewards of the earth. And I also wish health and happiness to everyone here and my dear friends of UU.
My wish is for peace and joy and love for each of you in my church family and community. And may 2024 bring each of you the joy that you seek in your heart. Thank you.
Mine at this point would be for all of the church family, both here and online. I would like to have you enjoy peace, laughter, love, beauty, good health, and the wit and attention to appreciate all that life has given us.
I'm wishing you all happiness in 2024.
And I would just want to add, there are so many great sentiments already expressed, but my deep appreciation for those of us who have found this church and have shared so much through the years.
Yeah.
I'd like to wish everybody a fun year filled with good health, and also just a hope that we could try to walk in the other person's shoes and understand things outside of our own sphere next year.
I feel like would like to add a blessing to the world, our beleaguered, distracted, dysfunctional world that, my empathic self feels a lot of pain about. And that our job is to work on our own consciousness in the sense that Bill was just talking about, so that any person that we come in contact with will feel the desire also to become more self-aware and be more aware of the choices that they make and the consequences of those choices. I'm hoping that we have a kind of a Christ-like shift in 2024 where people realize we can't go on like this, we're destroying ourselves. And let's change something about that.
Hear, hear.
Yes.
And for all online, a big, big virtual hug.
Yes.
Well, it looks like they're having fun in the sanctuary. It's nice when people who don't ordinarily interact with each other get to do that. And that's one thing I like about this exercise. We tend to stay circling around our known quantities. And I think it's very important for us to connect with people we don't know that well.
I invite you to please take your stone full of the kind words of your fellow congregants home with you. Put it on a table or in a planter or on your entryway or any place that you might notice it, and remember that you are a blessing and you are also blessed. And now I want to offer you all one more blessing for your stone for the new year. I wish for you all a year of newfound hope, a year of positive change, and a year of profound joy. Thank you. For our final hymn this morning, let us rise in body and or in spirit to sing together hymn number 1008 in our teal hymnal or on our screens, when our heart is in a holy place.
When my heart is holy, when our heart is with no enemy, when our heart is in a holy, when we trust
please find a way to connect with your neighbor or just raise your hands in the air and feel the energy in the room. I can't actually, but you can touch my elbow if you want. You want to touch my elbow? Okay. Actually, this is harder than it looks. Give me just a second. Gosh. As Sarah reminded us today, New Year's Eve is a time of endings, of farewells. But endings are never just endings. For every sunset, there is a dawn. For every farewell, there is a welcome. As we say goodbye to those things we leave, may we open our hearts and our spirits to what magical things the new year will bring. Blessed be, and amen. I'm going to invite you to sit down so we can enjoy our final musical performance. Thank you.
Ann, may I make you host on Zoom?
Muted us. And thanks for hosting again.
I guess they're just doing it automatically now.
Yeah. No, Jack actually asked, and then he just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't hear
Okay.
him, but yeah.
Oh, I
Yes,
didn't
you
hear
did.
him. Oh. Well, since I'm sort of typically always here,